She was warned. She was given an explanation. Nevertheless, she persisted.
Hello and welcome to The Persistence. This is She Who Persisted, the Nasty podcast. Unsurprisingly, I think you expected that. My name is Beatrice and I'm here with...
Elizabeth.
Yay! via the interwebs.
Yes.
Yes. Because you're in America and I'm in Austria.
Yes. Yes, I am in America and you are in Austria, as people may or may not know.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that because we also wanted to talk about a topic that is very relevant and very current in both the USA and in Austria right now. But
yes.
before that, also something that's relevant basically everywhere is June is Pride Month.
Yay!
So happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride.
Also happy Riot, you know? Because it's political.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots.
Exactly.
And we're recording this, you know, about a week probably week-ish before it'll air. But just this week in the United States, the police chief of the New York police apologized for
really?
Starting the riots.
What?
Yep. Apologized for the actions that they took that led to the Stonewall riots, which is pretty amazing, especially on the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Just to mention, I know that Pride, usually the face of Pride is, you know, the young white gay man, you know?
It's often like a gay dude bro who, and there's also like a lot of corporate sponsorship now of Pride.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. And what I wanted to say is that Pride wouldn't exist without two women.
Yes.
One is Marsha P. Johnson, who was a black trans woman, a bisexual woman, who basically started the riots. And then Brenda Howard, who basically, you know, planned and executed with others the first Pride March, basically as anniversary of the riots. And she's also called the Mother of Pride because she basically coined the term Pride for those celebrations. And she was also a feminist bisexual woman. So yay to Marsha P. Johnson and Brenda Howard. The LGBTIQ community is very colorful and very diverse, and it's so much more than just happy, fun, gay, white dude bros. But it's political. It's feminist.
Absolutely political.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear more about LGBTQ issues, I know that our episodes this month aren't necessarily specifically LGBTQ issues, but we have a number of past episodes on being in the LGBT community in academia, on bi negativity and bi erasure, among others.
But we could also do an episode about Marsha P. Johnson and Brenda Howard. I would absolutely be up for
we
that.
could totally do an episode about that.
Yeah.
We could do an episode about, you know, people who were instrumental in Pride and the LGBTQ community in Europe as well.
Yeah, I love that.
We can keep Pride going past June.
Exactly. It's always, I mean, I think it's always a bit, you know, disappointing when people only talk about LGBTIQ issues when it's June. It's like people who only talk about feminist issue when it's the 8th of March. And I'm like...
Or people who only talk about, like, African-American rights and civil rights in February because it's Black History Month. Like, that stuff doesn't go away just because the month is over.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't want to do that. So for us, it's Pride year all year, not just Pride month.
Another interesting, kind of exciting thing that's going on right now is the Women's World Cup. Now, Beatrice, I know that you are not interested in sports, so just ignore this part.
Hey, I just said football, but you're actually right. I mean,
But
It's
there
obvious.
is an intersection. I mean, not all of the women who play football/soccer are gay, but there are a lot of out and very proud women on the U.S. national team, on
Is
other
the police
teams.
coming to get you, Liz? Because I hear it in the background.
Yeah, my office is downtown in the capital of the United States, and as with many capitals and large cities, there you often hear sirens. So
There's a lot of crime, mostly in the White House.
I don't know. It could be,
That was a joke. I'm sorry I
anyway,
interrupted you. I just wanted to acknowledge the sound in the background because people maybe get confused.
So Women's World Cup, we often pay a lot of attention to the Men's World Cup, but in the United States, Women's World Cup is far more interesting for me, if only because the women's national team is amazing. So if you have not yet checked out the Women's World Cup, I would suggest doing that because the women's national team is amazing. The other women's teams are great too, but as an American, I'm kind of partial to the women's U.S. national women's team.
I heard that the Austrian team is also quite amazing. I know nothing about these things, so I can't tell you. But I know that men's soccer in Austria is just bad. They're just bad. And the women apparently are very good, so...
Yeah, the U.S. men's team often doesn't even make it to the World Cup. So, but there was an issue a few years ago that like the men's team was paid so much more than the women's team, and yet the women's team has won multiple World Cups. So there's that.
Yeah. It's also the case in Austria. The women are much better, but the men are always like prime time.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
You know what else is bullshit?
So many things.
But our topic today.
How many hours do we have?
Our topic today, which we're going to try and fit into the half hour that we have for our episode today, is looking at some recent changes to abortion laws.
Oh, God.
We have talked about abortion laws and Roe v. Wade in previous episodes, and abortion laws in Austria and Europe generally as well. But a lot has happened in the last month.
Mm-hmm. So, Liz, do you want to maybe start telling us about the hellscape that is America right now when it comes to reproductive rights and reproductive freedom?
Yeah, I can get us started. So,
please do.
So, NARAL, Pro-Choice America, is probably the leading, I want to say lobbying group, but also nonprofit group that looks at issues of reproductive rights and choice in the United States. And since January, 7 states have passed bills which have placed significant bans on abortion, and many of them are these heartbeat bills which ban abortion at the first sign of a fetal heartbeat. So what Roe v. Wade says is that, there shouldn't be restrictions on an abortion if it's not viable, which is a different rule per se than as soon as it has a heartbeat, because even if something has a heartbeat, which is often considered at 6 weeks, it's not viable after 6 weeks, which is a totally separate issue. So
also maybe...
Go ahead.
Just one thing that I think we should explain for the people listening from other places than the USA is that the judicial system in America, or in the United States of America, is very much based on precedents and on, is that the right word? And
precedents?
on
Yes.
Precedents, yes, and in cases that are fought in court.
Yes.
And that's where Roe versus Wade goes back to. So there was a case in court, basically. And in Europe, most countries, it's very different. We have... so our laws are made very differently from how it's done in the United States.
Yeah, sure. So our precedent was set in 1973 by the Supreme Court ruling of Roe versus Wade, which affirmed that a woman has a right to seek an abortion up until the point that the fetus could be viable outside of the uterus. So if it's a viable human being, if it could exist outside of the uterus on its own without any assistance, then they weren't okay with that. And that viability has to be determined on an individual basis, but it's generally between 24 and 28 weeks of pregnancy. So that has been the standard. The 24, 28 weeks of pregnancy has been the standard. But what's happened recently is that there have been a number of laws passed. Now, not all of them are in effect, but a number of laws passed that have limited the time at which one can get an abortion. So, for example, these are the states. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 states that have super, super restrictive abortion laws. And I'm going to go through them alphabetically.
Please do.
Alabama, as one might, if you were familiar with the United States, you might not be surprised that Alabama has one of the most backwards laws, which says that there should be no abortion after 0 weeks.
Sweet home Alabama. How does the song go?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm just doing the soundtrack. You speak, I sing.
Yeah. So Alabama says you can't have an abortion after 0 weeks. So what that means is like since you're
so not at all. You can't have an abortion. Yeah,
exactly. It allows exceptions if the woman's life is threatened, but there are no exceptions for rape and incest. And what's
how
kind
nice.
of yeah. So Alabama's total abortion ban sends doctors to prison for up to 99 years.
What the fuck? Like, why didn't they make it to 100? Like, is there any? I mean, apart from the fact that, of course, that's ridiculous. But why 99 and 100? Was 100 too much?
Who knows? Who knows?
Just a random number.
But anyway, so it's basically a total abortion ban, and the doctors could go to jail for 99 years. Mm-hmm. So that's Alabama. Arkansas, also southern state, also somewhat backwards, but they allow no abortion after 18 weeks, but it allows for exceptions for rape, incest, or medical emergencies. Mm-hmm. Georgia, no abortion.
Georgia. I'm sorry.
No abortion after 6 weeks. It allows exceptions if the woman's life is endangered or if the pregnancy is deemed medically futile, and in cases of rape or incest, if the woman files a police report. So
actually what that means is, because there are women who don't even notice that they're pregnant within 6 weeks.
Why, yes, there is. I actually, I did a little research on this, and this is like not at all definitive, but there's an article on Self magazine, which is like a women's magazine, like Brigitte or something in Europe. But it's talking about, it's recent, and it's women who, like, when did they realize they were pregnant? There are a lot of women who don't even know that they're pregnant at the 6 week mark. And one woman says she had some tequila, she got sick, wasn't sure what was going on. She had a pregnancy test. It came back positive. She went to the doctor, but the results came back negative. And then she thought she was having like a liver issue, and then she finally went to the doctor and found out she was 6 to 8 weeks along. So she had no idea. She had no idea she was pregnant.
Yeah, and maybe
some
also
people
you
don't
need some
know
time
after
to think
like
about
3
it.
or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, I know. And also, even if you know after like 3 weeks, you maybe need time to think about what you're going to do. And also sometimes you also can't get an appointment.
Yes.
Or
get off work early or whatever.
Yeah. So that's fucked up.
Yeah. Let's go on. There's more.
I just noticed that you can't see me.
Oh no. Oh yeah, no,
I didn't tell me. No, you can.
Well, I figured maybe you were having internet problems, so you decided
No, I just didn't click the button.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hi.
Okay. So that's Georgia.
Yeah.
Kentucky. No abortion after 6 weeks. No exception for rape or incest, only allows exceptions if the woman's life is endangered. Now, I want to know, what do they mean by if a woman's life is endangered?
You know what? I think in the case of rape, you don't need an abortion in the first place because the female body has a way to shut the whole thing down. Oh, what was
no,
that?
that is exactly what he said. That is exactly what he said.
So, I mean, you don't even need abortions after we get raped because we can't get pregnant from rapes.
Do people actually know how women's bodies work?
No. And they're not interested.
No, they're not. They're not.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I'm making light of the whole thing, but I can't take it any other way. You know, I go like completely insane if I would not have the gift of sarcasm in situations like
No,
that.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Now, let me go back to the Georgia bill. The Georgia bill
Yes, please.
makes abortion illegal before women even know that they're pregnant, because that 6-week thing is like many people don't know. But it also could throw doctors in jail, and it could lead to women being investigated for miscarriages.
Okay, say it again. Say it again.
So say